Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Tartar Zone and the Tartar Zone Talks. We have a packed stream for you because, before I come on air, shit has hit the fan. I haven't even got it in the headline of the video of this stream because all hell has broken loose. So we'll start off with what's happened right now. Is it Sophia Miles? I don't know if I'm saying her name properly. The actress that played Madame de Pompadour, um, who I follow on Twitter, follows me on Twitter. Done a Twitter Spaces, where she came out and she has said that she doesn't believe any of the women that have accused Noel Clarke of the stuff that they've accused them of, and that when she walked with him, she never encountered any of that behavior. And she says that she knows an predator when she sees one. Of course, it's caused the storm from the other side of the fandom, who are now trying to cancel the poor woman. As she said, she's entitled to her opinion. And as she says, if you're going to base the facts off a newspaper article, she doesn't think that that's what you should do. Now, as you know, I have covered this topic on this channel, and we've had to be very careful because when you talk about topics like that, it is, there's a fine line. Now, at the time, I did say that, if 23 women come forward, it's very hard to dismiss those women. But after months of investigating, the police have actually come out and publicly said that none of the allegations have reached the threshold, which means basically they can't investigate because there's not any evidence to back up, or there's not enough evidence that they feel that they can go forward with a case. So essentially saying that he's basically innocent. So, in the court of law, you're innocent until proven guilty. Now, if the police have come out and said that there's nothing for him to answer for, well, then we have to take the word of the police, who have probably done a thorough investigation, right? But it's all kicked off. They're trying to cancel her. They're telling people to unfollow her. I'm not going to unfollow her, and a lot of the people that follow her are not going to unfollow her because she has her own opinions. She's also being a very strong advocate for Johnny Depp during his trial with Amber Heard. The woman has been championing, and she has worked with Johnny Depp too. And she was pretty adamant from the very start of that trial that he was innocent, and we've seen how the trial played out. Right now, again, Noel Clarke is innocent until proven guilty. And the fact that the police have said that they can't investigate any further because none of these allegations, the words that were used, they don't reach the threshold, which means to me there's either not enough evidence, or the accusations that were made were basically baseless. Let's be honest. Let's put it out there. See, a lot of YouTube channels won't cover this. I will, right? Because it's important to talk about these things. These are things that are going on within our fandom. Behavior, like it's trial by social media. We've had this time and time again. It needs to stop. Trial by social media is wrong, right? People's lives and livelihoods are being ruined because people are going out there writing newspaper articles, right? And news, and then news outlets posting that article all over the world for everybody to see. And then the person that's being, and the person that everybody knows that article is aimed at, You know, his career's destroyed. This is gone on too long, and now they're trying to cancel that poor woman. But it won't happen because we'll support her as we always do. We champion women on this channel. No matter what people say out there about this bloody channel, we do champion women on this channel. We always have. Always have. And we'll continue to do so. Anyway, that's what's happened just before I came on now, right? So that's the updated news. Yeah, Jody has one as well. So let's get into the news. So Ncuti Gatwa has received an honorary doctorate. Now, before anybody starts moaning and having a go, right? As far as I'm aware, most of the doctors now, or it's become a thing now, that actors are Jodie got one as well, that they get an honorary doctorate, right? It's no big deal, right? But I have to say, when he was going to collect it, he looked rather dapper. I will say something. You know what? I'm going to say something that will probably annoy a few people out there, right? Because because they just want to be negative all the time. But I tell you, his dress sense, man, he's got some flamboyant dress sense, but he also has very dapper dress sense, if you know what I mean, as well. He dresses well. I've no problem with it. Also, obviously, I'm not going to read this article, but there is articles in the link description. I just want to read the bit where he got his that's the wrong article anyway. I'm an idiot. Anyway, just to kind of hold on, give me a second. See, I got thrown off with that shit that just had to happening, man. I tell you, man, this fandom needs to bleeding cop on. Right? She's entitled to her opinion. You know what I mean? You mightn't agree with it, right? But she's entitled to her opinion, but she is right in a way. You know, you are innocent until proven guilty, and if you're basing all your evidence off a newspaper article, well, then you're a tick, right? The police have actually investigated this, and they've come back out and they said, well, there's no charges to be brought. So, you know, even I thought there might have been something in it, because 23 women coming forward is a lot of bleeding women. But if the police have investigated it, and people that are working with them now are starting to come out. See, but this is the thing. Well, I'm pretty sure Sophia would have actually come out straight away when the Noel Clark stuff dropped. But I didn't see any of these other cast members come out and defend them, which was, you know, I'll just say that anyway. So he receives his honorary doctorate from the Royal Conservator of Scotland for his acting and plantar. I can never say them bleeding words. Anyway, so he actually graduated from this from the RCS. We'll just call it the RCS in 2013 after studying drama at art school. So he actually, the same college that he actually did his work in is the one that awarded him the honorary doctorate for the acting industry and his philanthropy. I can never say it, the word. So, you know, there, watch. If I could show you this picture properly, I hope I can, because he looks rather dapper. I have to say his dress sense. I love his dress sense, man. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think his dress sense is brilliant. He's most. He wears some clothes, man. You've got to admire his dress sense. Right, here it is. Here, watch. Like, there he is. You know, in his black suit there, looking rather dapper. People say that he's very flamboyant the way he dresses. Yeah, but he can also tone it down as well. You know, so all those people out there that are complaining, you know, because the next bit of news I'm going to share, which is the news that's gotten some fans upset. Now, I can understand it because Jodie Whittaker was involved in hers, and look how that turned out. But apparently, Ncuti is going to have input in what his costume looks like. Now, of course, this has upset some of the fandom out there because Jodie Whittaker also had say in her costume, and everybody seeing the way that bloody costume turned out. But as I said, his dress sense to me, you know, it is a bit flamboyant, but he also knows how to tone it down. I think they'll get the balance right for his costume. I really do. People are thinking that his costume's going to be over the top and way too flamboyant. Look, we've had doctors that have worn kind of flamboyant costumes, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as people make it out to be. Let's just wait and see what happens with the costume. But again, he has some input into his costume, and he says that he's all excited. He can't wait to get started. Look, recently he's been out and about, and you know he's had a little bit of negative press because you know the man can't even enjoy a cigarette without people like having a go at him. Now, I will say this: I didn't think it was a good idea myself. I think his PR team, you know, it's not a good look for an incoming doctor to have a cigarette hanging out of his mouth, out of his ear, right? But is that make or break, or is that going to turn me off? No. And it shouldn't turn anybody else off. What they do in their own downtime is their own business, but someone in his PR team should have advised them that that probably wasn't a good idea. You know, they have to be careful because you don't want, again, at the end of the day, you know, there's already fans out there that are already suspicious of castings and what RTD has planned. So it's very careful that they don't put a foot wrong. You know, so you know, seeing them there and so a bit of positivity there, and so you know, let's see what happens. Let's see what happens. But that's really the news uh, uh, for Doctor Who. Got to do with the main show, and obviously, as I told you, all that stuff has happened online and kicked off. I was wondering why her name was trending, and then when I went in and I had a look, and all the same people that have picked on me, Lee, you know, others out there are the same people that are now attacking that poor woman because she had the audacity, according to them, to have an opinion. I am sick and tired of this fandom now, right? I don't care what side of the argument you fall on any issue in this fandom or any casting or whatever. It's getting out of hand. It needs to stop. Everybody is entitled to their opinions. Now, if there are people being deliberately racist out there and bigoted out there, fine, we call that shit out. But on the whole, right, because I had this conversation with someone on Twitter last night. They tried, in their tweet, I think they tried to make it out that the fandom was worse, right? Because they start talking about 2005 and all the forums that were talking about the gay agenda, right? And I made the point that, well, that was 2005. I wasn't talking about 2005. I'm talking about the fandom now. And this is 2022, and the fandom has grown and moved on since that time. And in my opinion, the fandom is more accepting now than it ever has been. Right? See, they're trying to bring all of these old arguments back up. right? Trying to say now that they're, and listen, there are a certain element out there, I've seen them myself, and they do need to stop. But the majority of fans right now are actually happy with Doctor Who at the moment. And anybody else out there that's putting out a false narrative that, that people don't want RTD back, and, that all fans have a problem with Ncuti and they have a problem with this, that, and the other. It's wrong. It's false. It's false. The majority of fans are okay. There are a few that are a bit suspicious, and we understand that. And obviously, there'll be a few out there that no matter what happens, no matter what they do, it's in every fandom now, they'll never be happy. So, yeah, we'll wait and see what happens. But this is the part of the news now. So, before I read this article, I want to make it very clear, right? I want to make it very clear that the reason why I'm highlighting this article is because these allegations, or this article is a bit of an eye opener. So I just want to make clear that I'm reading the article. I will give my opinion on the article, but it's only my opinion based off of this article. Okay? So, want to make that very clear. Now, so why am I saying that? So last night, I was on Twitter and I was tagged in this article. And when I read the headline of the article, I was quite shocked. So I decided to go in and have a look. And what I've read is quite shocking. But am I surprised? No, I'm actually not, because society is going down this dark path, and it's leading where it shouldn't be going. But anyway, so this is from people accuse me as well of hating women, right? So I just want to make clear that this article is from a feminist news group, okay? So because I get accused of hating women and all of this other bullshit. But anyway, now, as I said, the article is in the link description. There's certain words that I won't be able to read out there, but as you can see the headline there, I don't know if you can see the headline. So there's the headline. So it's Red Ducks, feminist news and opinion. And why is that doing that? Don't be doing that. Right. Just bear with me, because these articles kind of, they go. So UK women's charity promoting trans author who wrote P-sex guide for children. I'm not reading out the word. I don't want anybody writing the word in the chat or anything of that nature in the chat, because what will happen is Google will pick it up. The video will also then be flagged, and we are not here to bash or anything like that. I'm just reading this article and I'm going to give me opinion on it. That's it. But a lot of YouTubers out there in the YouTube community, especially the Who community, will not touch articles like this because they want to stay on the good side of the people that run the show. But as you know, I don't give two flying fucks about them, because at the end of the day, they disrespected the fans for the last 5 years. So why should I give a damn about upsetting their feelings? So this article is by Guinevere Gluck, and it was published on the 9th of July. So a local chapter of the UK's women's charity is under fire after promoting a book by trans author who wrote an explicit guide for children and who called being gay a constellation prize for men who weren't transgender. Now, we did actually hear about this because there has been a lot of this homophobia from certain elements of the trans community. Not all trans people are homophobic. I want to make that clear, but there is a section that are, and I mean, if you say this, if you say being gay is a consolation prize for men who weren't transgender, that is an absolutely disgusting thing to say. And that was said because I remember there was a lot of, well, when I say there was a lot of backlash, we were certainly highlighting it on Twitter along with other people. The Fawcett Society prompted outrage this week after promoting a book, The Gender Games, by trans author Juno Dawson. The West Midlands branch of the society runs a monthly book club and announced July's selection in a social media post made on Thursday. The Eventbrite registration form associated with the book club meeting summarizes the book's main themes are compared exclusionists, feminists, diverse term for women who believe sex cannot be changed, to alt-right young men. The announcement was met with widespread criticism. Some feminists pointed out that the purpose of the charity was to advance women's causes, but that they had failed to find a female author to promote the writing of. Other netizens were quick to point out a homophobic comment Dawson made in 2017 during an interview with Attitude magazine, a publication targeted at gay men. A lot of gay men are gay men as a consolation prize because they couldn't be women, said Dawson, in a reference to decision to identify as transgender. References to the comment were posted repeatedly beneath the book club's announcement, with many demanding that society address it. Now, I'm going to say something. I'm not a gay man, right? And I find that absolutely horrendous. For an author or for someone in the public eye to make such a homophobic comment like that is unbelievable. Now, our fans will say that she wasn't being homophobic. She clearly was being homophobic, no matter which way you twist it. Now, why am I bringing up this person you ask, though? Right? Well, for anybody that doesn't know, right, before we get into the rest of the article, right, Juno Dawson is actually doing Doctor Who Redacted, right? She's the main writer behind the BBC Sounds audio drama that she's been doing, right? And this is why I'm bringing it up, because the Doctor Who brand, the Doctor Who brand now is in the spotlight because of this. This cannot be swept under the carpet, right? Like other incidents in this fandom over the years. It's time to stop with the bullshit. It's time to stop sweeping things under the carpet. And it's time for all you other YouTubers out there that are Doctor Who fans to be addressing this nonsense once and for all. All right? And it's not homophobic or transphobic or anything like that. There are real issues that need to be addressed. And nobody in this fandom has the balls to do so, except for me. I always put myself out on the front line. This is why I always get it in the neck. right? When I seen this, I said, oh, for fuck's sake, I have to cover this now, right? Because it can't be just left unnoticed and people not bringing it up, right? Imagine making a comment like that. Absolutely. We'll go anyway, a little bit further. Prior to self-identifying as a woman, Dawson has worked as a primary school teacher and identified as a gay man. In 2014, he published a book titled This Book is Gay, which was marketed as a guide for children aged 13 and up. The book, written in childish vernacular, intended to appeal to young readers, graphically taught children how to perform S-acts, as well as provide illustrations of the acts. Now, I don't know what kind of fucked up society we're living in, right? But tell me I'm not being unreasonable when I say that books like that, right, shouldn't even be written. No, this is the whole thing about this whole gender sex thing, right? I'm going to say this. As far as my opinion, as far as I'm concerned, when it comes to the education of kids regarding sex and gender, it shouldn't happen. They're kids. They're kids, for God's sake. Let them be kids. Right? Let them be kids. There's nothing wrong with them being kids. Let them. But again, we're seeing this all over the world. Right? We're also seeing in schools in America, schools in the UK, and even in this country, you have drag queens going into schools doing story time for kids. Doctor Who social media accounts have been putting videos up. Like, we're trying to normalize something that shouldn't be normalized to kids. And I'm not talking about transgender, by the way. I'm talking about sex and all of the gender, right? The kids shouldn't be burdened with all of that. You let your kids grow up. Your kids will choose their own destiny. Your kids will be who they want to be. But what's happening here is that you've got people out there that want to manipulate the path that kids take nowadays. And that's wrong. Kids should be free to grow the way they want and go in the direction that they want in life. We were able to do that. Generations before that were able to do that. We're deliberately manipulating the path our kids take today. And it's wrong. It's wrong. Anyway, let's get back into this. A good handle is all about the wrist action. Oh my God. Rub the head of his, you know what, back and forth with your hand. Try different speeds and pressures until he responds positively, suggests Dawson in the book, who gives instructions on oral and the other thing. As with handies and breakfast eggs, all men like their blowies served in different ways. Oh my fucking God. This is a book for a 13-year-old. 13 and up. 13. They're exposing our kids to this kind of writing. Telling a 13-year-old how to pleasure a man. Pleasure, well, not a man, but pleasure whoever they're going to pleasure. It doesn't matter what their age is, it's fucking wrong. As reported in 2015 by The Guardian, the presence of Dawson's book in the juvenile non-fiction section of the public library in Wasilla, Alaska, led parents to complain. After a 10-year-old boy accessed the book, his mother, Vanessa Campbell, was shocked to discover it contained frank drawings and descriptions of adult acts. Adult. I cannot believe that this is the same person, right? That BBC Sounds or someone in the BBC thought it'd be a good idea for them to write it for Doctor Who. They're dragging Doctor Who's good name through the fucking mud. So Campbell took the matter up with the library, and then KJ Martin Albright, who decided that the book was appropriately shelved. In response, Campbell lodged a formal complaint, and a 3-member committee was convened to look into the matter further. Approximately 50 people, many of them parents, turned up to the first City Council meeting to voice their concerns. The following week, citizens attended a second meeting in droves, with one attendant comparing the provision of such sexually explicit materials to children to P behaviour. Shortly after the P controversy, Dawson declared a transgender identity and adopted the name Juno. Okay. I'm just going to say something here. Why is it... I have to be careful the way I word this. Does it not seem strange to people that after the controversy, right, of this, then they came out and they declared they were transgender. Therefore, right, automatically, if anybody goes after them, they're transphobic. So basically, Juno protecting themselves. He would later say of the situation, if anyone thinks teens are an experiment with drugs and looking at porn, they're kidding themselves. Dawson announced his transition in February 2016 interview with Glamour magazine after being hired as a columnist there. Just 3 months after parents began complaining about his sex guide for children. So Glamour magazine ought to be ashamed of themselves. I would suggest that you don't buy Glamour magazine, folks. Earlier this year, Dawson again prompted criticism for sexualizing children in a novel he released titled Wonderland. A Safe School Alliance UK detailed how a parent found the book stocked in their children's secondary school library and provided a summary of sexual explicit content contained in Wonderland, which has its main character, a young boy who identifies as a girl named Alice. Male sex fantasy tropes are present throughout. The book opens inside St. Agnes, an all-girls boarding school where the girls presented are not only sexually active, but their bodies are described as ridden with STDs. Oh, The review continues to explain ways that children are sexualized in Wonderland. Alice states, the fact I exist is enough. The fact I'm young is a bonus. I'm a blow-up doll. Added to this, Alice boasts about his perky little, the B word, what women have. Well, we have them too, but women have bigger ones. Well, I'm delighted with perky little B word. I was profoundly disappointed that my urge to cut myself didn't vanish. What the with the first milligram of estrogen to pass my lips. Now, I read this article last night, but I forgot a lot of it. But Jesus Christ Almighty, I don't know what is going on. Oh my God. The Stormly Alice, legally still a child, is said to have an active app-based sex life with married men. And the book is appropriate for children over 12. In Dawson's latest book, chosen by the Midlands chapter of the Facet Society Book Club, Dawson describes how he first began to believe he was female because he enjoyed listening to Madonna and the Spice Girls. I enjoyed listening to Madonna and the Spice Girls. Bewitched, All Saints, Sugar Babes, Destiny's Child, TLC. Like, what a stupid fucking comment to make anyway. Dawson generally preferred media that centered female characters, including Sex and the City, and confessed to lingering male privilege, as he was never told I could be exactly what I wanted to be, and I wanted to be Carrie. Before we continue on, I just want to see how everybody in the chat is doing. Because I need a little bit of a break. Right, so I got to Lee's comment where he said, "What the f?" That was the last comment I seen. So let's see. Cinnamon Toast Crunch is in the chat. The problem being has actually said 13-year-olds aren't reading books about you know what. PD says it's child abuse. Some people are saying sick. This is disgusting. Juno Dawson is the main writer for Doctor Who Redacted. It's on BBC Sounds, and I think they're also in it. So I think they're all writing it, and they're also in it. And this audio also has Jodie Whittaker involved. Now, this is not. I'm not pinning any blame on Jodie Whittaker here whatsoever. But if I were Jodie Whittaker, I would jump ship. Now, if there's even plans of another, I don't know because I haven't listened and I won't listen. But I know people that do follow me have listened. But if there's any more, it is. If I were Jodie Whittaker, I'd stay well clear. From what I've read so far and what you've heard so far, I can see the reaction in the chat. I think this is the most graphic article I have ever read. And it's the most disgusting thing that I see on paper. Especially the quotes from the books themselves are quite disturbing, that's what our 9, 10, 12, 13-year-olds are apparently reading in schools and libraries across the world. It is absolutely shocking. It's shocking. Anyway, I think we'll just get this done and over with, because to be quite honest with you, I just, uh, despite professing to sympathise with a women's perspective, Dawson devotes an entire chapter of the gender games to what he refers to as turf wars. Throughout, Dawson refers to prominent women's rights campaigners who unconcealed derision, whether you prefer turf or transphobic or bigot. I don't really care, writes Dawson. The term turf is frequently used to harass and threaten women who question gender identity ideology. He goes on to compare the acknowledgement of biological sex to racism, specifically using black and Muslim women to make his case. Has said, I don't feel safe around black women, or I don't like getting on planes with women in hijabs, or as a hijab. I can never say that word properly. I do feckin' apologise. I'm just fucking annoyed here. Would you quite rightly have accused those people of being bigoted, he writes. Perhaps bigotry does need to be silenced. Dawson also shrugged off women's fears of male sexual violence by suggesting that lesbians pose a greater threat to women than men. Oh, can I? How do you end up having such warped ideals? Oh, I just don't get it, man. I don't see anyone suggesting cisgender lesbians should be banned from women's changing rooms and bathrooms. But if anyone was going to have a good old perv, wouldn't it be wouldn't it be them? Dawson says. Sorry. While discussing his own childhood, Dawson defends the use of drugs, commonly referred to as puberty blockers. Now I'd have to being able to get my hands on those pills and prevent my body from going through puberty, Dawson laminates. He scolds the reader, saying, no children are having sex changes, you morons. And the practice of halting puberty was first trialed at a Tavistock clinic as far back as 1992. Since the publication of the Gender Games in 2017, dozens of health specialists have quit the Gender Identity Development Service at the Tavistock Clinic out of ethical concerns. Um, it feels like a conversation therapy for gay children, one male clinician told The Times. Another whistleblower who disclosed that she was having nightmares after what she was doing warned children's bodies are being damaged in order to treat social issues. I would talk about it as an atrocity. Still, another clinician described a case that haunted her, which involved a father she suspected of being a P, demanded puberty blocking drugs in order to abuse his child. Knowing what I know now, and with the role models we have, there's no way I would have said I was gay. I would have gone straight to trans, Dawson told the Herald in 2017. Dawson's credentials include serving as school role model. So, serving as a school role model for Stonewall and working with the charity For Story, which runs writing and storytelling workshops in underprivileged schools. Dawson is featured on the website of the UK charity, the National Trust, and television rights to his recent book, The Gender Games, have been purchased by Sonny Marsh, a production company founded by Benedict Cumberbatch. Oh, this gets worse. And the article for you guys is in the link description. So if you want to share that article, it's up to you ourselves. But All I can say is this is what I have read, right? And there's been quotes taken from Juno's books. I find it quite disturbing. And listen, call me transgender or you can call me transphobic all you want, right? I'm not transphobic, by the way. Anybody that knows me knows I'm not, right? My issue has always been with children. I've made this clear from day one. And if you've got trans activists like Juno Dawson writing material like that for 13-year-olds, I'm sorry, I find it quite disturbing. No 13-year-old should be taught how to give you know what. Absolutely disgusting. And, as I said, nobody in this Doctor Who community will bring this up, will talk about it, will even highlight it. Nobody. Not one person. Watch them all. Not one person will bring this up. I'll be the only channel to talk about this, right? And the rest of the Who community will stay silent. And why will they stay silent? Because they all supported all of this in the first place. And if they come out of it now, they're going to look like hypocrites. So rather than look like hypocrites, they're going to see this through. But what they don't realise is all this going to come crashing down over everybody when someone cops on and realises that this kind of behaviour is P behaviour and it needs to be stopped. No book of that reality should ever be made for a 13-year-old or even younger. And remember, they're teaching, they have books, younger books, where they're teaching kids stuff, younger kids stuff as well, just not as graphic, but they are aimed towards all of that. So they're trying to teach the kids as young as they can. And you notice something as well. I've noticed something about that article as well, which is very interesting. Do you notice that it's always underprivileged kids? It's never all these rich middle-class tops, is it? No, it's always the underprivileged. But nobody will cover this. They'll all stay silent. And then I'll be accused of all sorts of things and all of this. And I'm not even saying anything wrong here. I've just read the article, given me opinion, and I've read out some of the quotes from the actual books themselves. I mean, come on. Come on. Don't even tell me that. Don't tell me that, like, I'm not being fucking, I'm not using common sense here. And those comments that that Juno made about gay men, that was a consolation prize. I remember it because Lee was on Twitter at the time. And I think, if I'm correct, Lee, I think you actually called that shit out. When Lee saw that. I'm pretty sure Lee called that shit out. And rightly fucking so. Imagine making such a homophobic comment like that. And then I get accused, or Lee gets accused, or other people get accused of being homophobic in this fandom. And all we've ever said is that if you're going to have LGBTQ plus characters in Doctor Who, treat them with respect and don't kill them off straight away and give them character development and good stories. But somehow that's homophobic and transphobic and all of this other rubbish that's thrown in at our faces. If this was all happening 20 years ago, all of those people would be locked up in prison. That's the reality of the situation, right? 20 years ago, not even 20 years ago, right? those people would be put in prison if they even attempted to write books like that. But because the left have been working on and the radical left, I might add, have been working on society for the past few years, this is where we are now. This is where we are. They want to normalise sex to our kids. Kids should be kids. Kids should be free to choose their own path. Parents' job is to guide their kids, but it's not to brainwash your kids or allow other people out there, outside forces, brainwash your kids. When your kids are at an old enough age to make adult decisions and to make those choices, that's where it should be. That's the way it should always be. But, the radical left are telling us that a newborn baby can tell its gender and all of this other rubbish that we've heard all over the years. They're trying to tell us that, no, kids can tell that they're different and all of this. And that's the terms that they use, that they're different and all of this stupid rhetoric that they use. As I said, if you're a grown-ass adult and you want to transition, you go ahead. Whatever makes your life better, whatever makes you happy. But as I've always said, when it comes to children, that's a different situation. You can't be asking children to make those adult decisions. It's wrong. And there's a lot of parents out there that are kind of trying to indoctrinate their kids. We've seen it. We've seen the videos. We've all seen the videos. It's absolutely disgusting. It's child abuse. Leave it out. Let them grow up. Let them be free. Let them do what they want. And then when they're adults or when they're old enough to make those decisions, they're not old enough to make those decisions at 13, 14 years of age, or even 15, 16 years of age. This again, another thing that baffles me about this whole situation is that this is a decision that someone's going to make that's going to have a huge impact on their life for the rest of their lives. And adults think that kids can make those decisions for themselves. Or if they can't, parents are making those decisions for their kids. How dare you? Don't be forcing your ideology or your beliefs on your kids. Let them grow. Let them be who they are. And if they choose, as I said, when they're old enough to make those decisions, let them then make those decisions. But they're not. You can't tell me a 3-year-old can. And we've seen articles like this, that 3-year-olds apparently know the difference between genders and they know if they're in the right body or not. I've never heard such nonsense in all my life. I used to share me toys with my brother and sister Tara this time. We all did. Because back then their parents hardly had any money. So we shared toys. There was nothing wrong with that. But it doesn't mean because I played with, say, a Barbie or something, that automatically means then, well, I mightn't be a bloke because I played with Barbies. Makes no fucking sense. I'm just baffled. But there you go, as I said, the reason why I highlighted this is because Juno was working on Doctor Who, redacted. It's got the Doctor Who name on it, right? And this stuff is all disturbing. Those excerpts from them books are absolutely fucking shocking. I seen the reaction to the chat as I was reading them out. And I could see how yous all were. Yous were absolutely baffled and disgusted and shocked. So the question I have is is what the hell are the people doing behind the BBC or that are running Doctor Who, all these different parts? Why the hell are they hiring people that are writing explicit stuff like that for 13-year-olds? This is absolutely bang out of order. And as I said, not one person in this Who fandom, that all the popular little idiots, you know who I'm talking about, not one of them will talk about this, right? They'll focus on whatever, but they won't highlight this, right? Or if they do highlight it, they'll come out against the journalist and they'll start attacking the feminists then, right? But I doubt I doubt they will cover this. But as I said, you know this channel, right? I have no allegiance to anybody, right? I don't give a flying fuck if I upset the BBC. At the end of the day, if I see something that I think is wrong, I have every right to come on here and express my opinion on it, right? So I'm not worried about upsetting anybody, right? And as I said, I knew as soon as I seen this article, I had to cover it because nobody else would, and I'll probably get a bit of stick for it, but I don't care. I don't care, right? It's not that I'm out there trying to look for trouble. I'm not. But if I see something like this that's highly disturbing, I'm sorry, I'm going to have to report on it, whether people like it or not. Oh, don't say that because everything is positive with RTD. You don't focus on the negative. But then if you don't like it, don't fucking follow me. Mind your own fucking business. I'll cover what I want to cover on my channel. And I'll cover stuff that I think is relevant and that the fans need to know about. And the fans need to know about this because this is what's going on. And this person is working under the Doctor Who name. Has Doctor Who not been dragged through the mud enough with Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker? Is that not enough? You want to destroy its reputation as well now? This is not right. This is not right. I don't care. This is not right whatsoever. And anybody that tries to justify this in any way possible, right? I'm going to say this now, right? If you have any kids, I would be ringing fucking child services. This is absolutely bang out of order. I have never read anything so disgusting in all my life. Anyway, as I said, it needed to be covered. And now I've given my opinion on it. So, I just don't know. It is. But what can we do? See, that's the thing. I'll report it, but nobody else will. And the big YouTubers as well out there don't seem to be interested in talking about Doctor Who because it's not controversial for them right now. They might see this article now and might pick it up and might start talking about it, but they're not even talking about Doctor Who now either. They'll only talk about Doctor Who when there is something negative. Maybe they haven't seen this article yet, but I'm pretty sure as soon as they do, they'll do about 50 videos on it. I'm only going to do this one video. I've said what I've had to say, But as I said, that article is in the link description, like all the other articles. So if you want to take a read for yourself, go ahead. But all I will say to you is it's quite disturbing. Some of the language in it is quite adult. So, you know, as I said, if you're going to read the article, just be cautious when you're reading it because it is very upsetting. Yeah, I'm just mind boggled by this whole and the way society has gone. There's if this continues, there's no hope for the world. Forget about wars, forget about climate change these nuts talk about and all this other shit. This will be the end of the world, the breakdown of society. We seem to be harping back to times where it was okay for a grown man. Remember, there was a past where it was okay for kings and to marry young brides and stuff like this. This is what they want for society now. And it's wrong. It's wrong and it shouldn't be normalized in any form whatsoever. Adult and kids, no. What a fucking disgusting world that these people want us to live in. What a fucking disgusting world. I'm serious, man. I'm serious. The fucking society can burn to fucking hell as far as I'm concerned. Alright? And all of these people fucking with it. Because I tell you fucking something. If this is our reality, this is society now. You know what? I can't even say I don't want any part of it because I have to live my life. But it's fucking disgusting. If I had a time machine, I'd go back, man. I'd go back to the 80s and I'd stay there and live out the rest of me fucking years, man. Anyway, for anybody out there that has been upset by what you've just heard on the channel, I do want to apologize. It wasn't my objective to make anybody upset, but I've got to report on these things, you know. And I'll put it to you this way. If I didn't report on this, right, then I wouldn't be keeping to what I've done on this channel over the years, right? And as some of you know, I've kind of have stepped back a little bit and complaining all the time. But this is one time where I needed to stand up and be counted. Because, you know, that's what you guys rely on when you all became subscribers on this channel. This is what this channel is known for going to those articles that nobody else would touch. It was even the same with the Noel Clark stuff. Nobody touched it, but I was talking about it, right? I will always go towards these articles and report on them because I think the fandom has a right to know what's going on within their show and all the other things that are connected with it, right? And there's a bit of integrity here as well, you know. So again, you know, I will never stop reporting on things like this that need to be reported on. So I just want to make that clear. Because I know some of you have said, oh, you've toned down a bit, giving out all the time. I'm just sick and tired of giving out all the time, to be quite honest with you. Right? I think we get to a stage in our life where, you know, I done me time in this fandom. You know, I said all the things I had to say about the era and all this and all the things that came with it. You know what I mean? And I just want a little bit of peace. But when I saw this, I knew this had to be something that had to be highlighted because, you know, as I said, you know, these people are working under the Doctor Who brand. So, yeah, I really do miss the 80s, says Lee. So do I, mate. So do I, man. My childhood, I had a great childhood in society-wise. when it came to society-wise. I think we all did. Yeah, there was threat of war and nuclear war over our heads, but everybody was nicer to each other. Society was so much more simpler, and life was a joy. Life was a fucking joy. Now you wake up and it's like, oh, what's fucking happened there? There's always something. There's not one day that we don't wake up where there is nothing negative. I'd just love to wake up one day where it's just a nice day. Everybody's nice to each other, and the world is just a kinder place. It was back then. It's become harsh and cold, and it's sad. Anyway, as I said, I've said all I've had to say on it anyway. So just want to give a shout out to a couple of me members that are in the chat. So we got Cinnamon Toast Crunch there. I thought I seen a few more, but we'll just scroll up and see, just in case I did miss any me other members there. I'm pretty sure we probably didn't. Let's see. Scroll up, scroll up, scroll up, scroll up. So it's Cinnamon Toast Crunch. And I think that's, yeah, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. Right. So that was easy. Social media is a cancer. I agree. Yeah, it's ridiculous, Shelley. But what can you do? What can you do? All we can keep doing is just highlighting these kind of things and hope that somewhere down the line we get to a point where people have had enough, a breaking point, as you will, where people have had enough, and then people start speaking up a lot more, because that's what needs to happen. That's what needs to happen. But yeah. I, as you can tell, I'm still kind of trying to process what I've just read. Anyway, we'll leave it there. So tomorrow we're back for a new Who, 6:30. So Into the Dalek, with Peter Capaldi, the second episode. Read the article. Kurt's Merkin. Read the article. It's in the link description. Go into the one about Juno Dawson. Go in and read it. I'd advise you to read it. But word of caution, it is very disturbing. So when you're reading it, have a sick bucket ready, because you're gonna fucking need one. So go in and read the article. It's worth a read. Trust me. It is an eye opener, but be warned, it is rather disturbing. So as I said, yeah, we got New Who tomorrow, Peter Capaldi, 6:30, second episode. So come and join me in the panel for that one. Also, this week, as I said, we will be starting. It'll either be Wednesday or Thursday. I haven't decided yet, but the RTD episode 1 of season 1, Rose, will be starting them RTD member streams off as well. And as I said, we'll have I'll be organising now. I'm going to be talking to a few people now, including Lee, to see when they can come on for the next members chat. So as you know, we have some intimate conversations, or bring on a guest, and we just shoot the breeze. Basically, we don't necessarily keep it to one topic, but if the guest would like to talk about a certain topic, that's absolutely fantastic. But what we really do is, for an hour, it's only an hour. It's not a long stream. So check them out. We try to keep it to the hour, and we've done well so far. So we'll be sticking to that. And we talk and we shoot the breeze for the next hour. So check them out, and we'll have plenty more streams here as well. Don't worry, guys. As I said, we're back to normal now. I was streaming yesterday as well. So we're slowly getting back to normal now. So hopefully there'll be regular daily content now. Slowly getting back to myself and stuff. So Yeah, I'm feeling a little bit better now, I have to be honest. But that's been a rough one these past couple of weeks, I have to believe and say. But yeah, we're back with regular content now, so uh, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I have seen that we do have a few new subscribers. We've jumped a bit in the sub count as well, which is absolutely fantastic. So those new people out there that have subscribed, welcome to the Tarda Zone, and I hope you've enjoyed the content so far. Obviously, we do normally stream a lot more than what we have streamed. If you're new to the channel, you'll probably see, if you go back 2 or 3 weeks, you'll see that we do stream quite regularly. It's just I've been a little bit under the weather the past few weeks, so streams have kind of been few. There has been still streams going up and videos going up, but not as many as I would have liked. So yeah, so that's it. So I want to thank everybody for joining me in the chat. To me member Cinnamon Toast Crunch as well. I see the problem being PD Rich and the usual suspects. The legend is also in the chat, and to all you other guys, Shelly and who else did I see in there as well? PD Rich and Ezra, Robert Arduous TARDIS Time, and Scott is in the chat as well. And as I said, we got the legend that is Daniel, whose channel is also jumped up. Leland is there as well. Actually, I do want to, before I do leave, I want to actually end on a positive note. And that is Daniel's channel. Daniel's channel is actually grown quite a bit over the last couple of weeks. And you know, it really puts a smile on my face, and it makes me proud, because he's had a rocky start. He had a rocky start. You know, he didn't, you know, he had the confidence to set up the YouTube channel, you know, but he had a bit of a rocky start. He didn't know whether he'd keep it up or not, because people were harassing him and stuff like that. But he stuck at it. He stuck at it. He's built up his audience now. And you know what? He's starting to grow now. His channel subs have jumped. There's a couple of other people out there as well. Gobby Guy's channel is doing very well as well. And it's lovely to see. Because I know Gobby puts a lot of work into what he does. But basically, I've known Daniel a long time, and I've known how much time and effort he's actually put in to put the content that he puts out, and he's very passionate about what he does. He's always either sending me a message or Charlotte a message, you know, either seeking advice or, you know, stuff like that. But I have to be honest, it's such a pleasure to see that he is now, you know, getting the reward that I believe he should have been getting in the first place, because he's one of those genuine YouTubers out there. If you haven't subscribed to Daniel's channel and you're new to my channel, I would like you to go and subscribe to Daniel's channel. He will be doing Doctor Who, and he does his Line of Duty. He has wrestling streams as well, and he's doing some gaming streams at the moment. But he has a lot of things planned coming up, and especially with the RTD era coming back, he's excited for that. So he'll be bringing you some Doctor Who content as well, I believe. So, you know, it's a good time to sub to Daniel's channel now and support him, especially as he's starting to beginning to rise up that sub count. And it's brilliant to see, man, because as I said, you know, he's an honest guy, and he deserves all the success that he gets. So I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you. I remember when you came on in the early days here and we were doing the phone-ins. And, you know, it was a pleasure having you on. all the times that we had you on. You always force one here when we were doing the live phone-ins. So as you know, I always have appreciated your friendship and your support. Um, and I'm just delighted now that you're seeing the benefits of what you're doing because you deserve it, man. Um, and I think we're all proud of you actually because we've watched you all grow. Um, so we're proud of you, proud of what you're doing on your channel. Long may the success continue, my friend. And remember, we're always here for you. As you know, if you ever need any advice and stuff like that, you know that. But yeah, as I said, we always one thing I'm proud of this channel is that we always champion people, and we have encouraged a lot of people to set up YouTube channels, and some have went on to do great with their channels and stuff like that, and it's great to see. But I'm particularly proud of what Daniel's doing right now. So yeah. Sorry if I'm blowing too much smoke up your ass, Daniel, but yeah, you have to understand I'm really proud of you, man. I'm really proud of you. It's been a long journey, and to see you from where we first started off to where you are now, it's actually been a joy to watch. And I'm just really over the moon for you. I'm really over the moon for you. I just can't give you enough praise, man. I just can't. But as I said, long may it continue. And as I said, Gobby Guy as well out there doing his thing. He's building his channel back up again. And again, he's doing so well. And again, he's not a bullshit artist. He'll tell us straight, as he always does. That's the one thing I like about Gobby Guy. He's out straight. He was even out straight with me a few times over the years, and there's nothing wrong with that. He's not a bullshit artist. He's just out straight, and I like people like that. And Gobby deserves your support as well. He's putting out some good content. Deserves your support. And of course, special shout out to me other friend, the guy that supported me quite a lot on this channel as well as Lee. I think if Lee wasn't around and kind of had chats with me when chats needed to be had, we'd probably be in a different situation right now, or probably still wouldn't be on YouTube. So Lee deserves an awful lot of credit as well. And of course, all of the artwork that you see, the avatars, the videos, the intros, the outros, they're all down to Lee. And if you haven't subscribed to his channel, it's Aldred Audio Visual, and that's where you'll get all of his work. Because if you're looking for someone to do trailers for you, he's the man. Competitive prices. But I will say, don't take the piss out of him. He does some good quality work, and if you ask him to do something, he'll do it, but he also expects to be paid for it. Okay. Lee has to live too. And of course, Airhead Mod, Chris, who's in the chat now, has popped in. Chris, again, been with us for a long, long time. And he doesn't just mod on my channel, by the way. He's the super mod on YouTube, to be quite honest with you. But he's always been very supportive of me. And it must be acknowledged. And again, as you can see, he's supported me yet again with becoming a member, which just Like, he does enough for the channel already, but to do something like that is just, I was really humbled by that. So thank you very much. Lee is doing the puke emoji because I'm blowing smoke up everybody's ass, but I just feel in a good humor and I want to kind of leave on a positive note. Because let's be honest, that article's after taking a lot out of a lot of us. So I'm just trying to, I just wanted to let you all know how much I appreciate you all. Because unlike some YouTubers out there, right, I know without you guys, I wouldn't be able to do what I do. And I appreciate every single one of you that watch a video, like a video, share a video, or come into a live chat, or on me panels. I appreciate you all. I know without any of you guys, I wouldn't be able to still do this. So I just want to let you know that I appreciate you all. And I'm going to leave it there now before it turns into Noel's Love Fest, But problem being just yeah, I know. That's what I mean. Yeah, but Lee is kind of like, I'm giving praise, but when people praise me, I kind of get like Lee as well, though. I'm like, yeah, I get embarrassed by it or something, or I don't think it's worthy sometimes, But you kind of have to, yeah, people are different, but yeah. So yeah, right, we'll leave it there. I'm pretty sure I've forgotten other people as well, but no, listen, PD Rich as well, Charlotte, Daniel, Real Super Doctor, me panelists, Melina, who else? We've had Cinnamon Toast Crunch on Jack. Who else? I'm forgetting names, and I'm gonna Cultivated Media. People that I've had on recently. Anyway, it's been quite a journey, and we'll continue it anyway, and we'll see where it takes us. But again, to everybody that's been on the channel over the years as well, thank you. Wolf and Storm as well, yeah, and Jack. They're all popping into me head now. We've even had on comics on Marty from MCTV, who actually, yeah, by the way, I forgot. It kind of clashed, and it wasn't done deliberately because obviously, all of this stuff was happening, and I was going to go live, but Marty's first podcast, The Zero Room, was dropped. So if someone in the chat can actually put that in the chat there, and if you haven't subscribed to MCTV, please do. Now, what Marty is doing is he's getting YouTubers from all sides of the fandom, and basically he's bringing them on to discuss Doctor Who, do interviews and stuff like that. So that dropped today. So because we've had Marty on the channel, so it's only right that I give him a plug. And it'll be interesting to watch. Just bear with me. My computer is laptop is about to go dead. There we go. So yeah, he's going to be interviewing different parts of the fandom. It's going to be very interesting. It's called The Zero Room, MCTV. Check it out on YouTube. So yeah, subbed when he announced it, says Daniel. That's absolutely fantastic. Avon lives, Alpha lives. It's actually funny that you bring Alpha's name up, because last night I was going through my Twitter followers and I was unfollowing people that I don't even have any communication with, and a lot of the Manchester United fan channels, because I'm sick of them now, and some of the news outlets, because I'm just sick and tired of all the rubbish. So I did a purge, but as I was going through it, I came, obviously, I'm still following Alpha, and I went in and I was having a look at his tweets, and I was just, and the last tweet he wrote up was thanking everybody for watching his latest Blake 7 panel. I have to tell you, I kind of got quite, I had a moment of reflection, let's just say. But I still haven't, I think a lot of us still can't believe it. He was only here with us, and now he's, yeah. It is, it's heartbreaking, man. He was a good friend, good panelist, cheeky, funny, everything you want from someone when you bring them on. And remember when we did bring him on at first, he hardly said a word, but he came into his own. Then he started doing his own thing on YouTube as well. And he was a funny guy, and it was a pleasure to know him. It was a pleasure to know him, you know. He had a lot of friends on social media anyway. And I know people say that that's not a real friendship because you don't meet and all of that. I disagree. You could still have those emotional connections. You know, you don't always have to be in the same room. That's bullshit. I don't believe in, you know what I mean? I don't believe that. You can still have a friendship with someone. It's a sad loss, and he won't be forgotten. But it was quite sad seeing that, I have to say. Anyway, before I start getting emotional for some weird reason, I'm just going to leave it there because, yeah, I didn't want to leave on that note, but there you go. Someone just brought his name up, and, you know, it was only right to mention Alpha. He was a big part of this channel as well. Like so many that have come and gone over the years. And as I said, even those people that are not talking to me that guested on this channel, as I said, thank you. You became part of the channel and things that we did. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you. As I said, go and check out all of that other stuff that we discussed on the stream. As I said, those articles are in the link description. And if you haven't read the articles, I would advise that you go and read that particular article that everybody wants to know what's going on. That'll give you a bit more detail of what's going on. As I said, be a word of caution. It's quite disturbing. So, you know, just be prepared if you go in and read that article anyway. And as we said as well, Ncuti will have say in his Doctor Who costume. And as I said, you know, I think his dress sense is kind of fun, and at the same time, he can tone it down. Just wants it. Look, I don't care what the costume looks like, right? But we can't have another costume of the vein of a Jodie Whittaker sort of costume. I mean, that was a ridiculous costume. They need to, you know, but an old-fashioned kind of Doctor Who costume would go well with Ncuti's Doctor, in my opinion. But we'll see what they do with it. And as I said, he also received an honorary doctorate from the university he actually did study in. So I can understand why they gave it to him. But the reason why I wanted to bring it up was because there's fans out there giving out about the fact that he's received it. Well, Jodie Whittaker received one. And let's be honest, I think Ncuti has done kind of quite more for his craft than Whitaker has. Let's be honest, right? So I have no problem with him receiving, and that's why I just wanted to bring it up, because I want to let people know that I don't have a problem with it, because people out there seem to have a problem with it, and I think it's actually ridiculous, because people are just looking for something to complain about all the time. We haven't even seen this man act in Doctor Who yet. We haven't even seen his costume. And people just want to pick out anything that he does or anything that is said and be negative about it. Right? Don't give a crap that he smokes. Was the image ill-advised? Yes, it was. But is it a big deal to me? No. Just his PR team need to tell him he just needs to be careful when he's putting public photographs out. That's it. Okay? And if anybody wants to start picking on him over that, well then I'd suggest you go back and look at some of the stuff that Whitaker was saying, and some of the stuff that came to light about stuff she was saying. She didn't actually endear herself to the fans in the right way. He could do whatever he wants to do in his free time, right? But as I said, I will say one thing. It was a bad look. And his PR team, again, I blame the PR team anyway, because if they were doing their jobs, they would have said, come here, Ncuti, I don't think that's a good idea, the smoke in your, either airbrush it out or do something, because if you put that up, you're going to face a bit of a backlash. And that's exactly what happened. Right? So his PR team failed him there. Let's hope they don't fail him again. Right? But I don't have a problem what he does in his spare time or when he's not filming. He can do whatever he wants once it doesn't break the law. Yeah? Simple as that. So, as I said, we discussed it on the Star Trek stream yesterday, Strange New Worlds. There just seems to be a focus on being negative all the time. Nobody wants to talk about anything positive at all. Just has to be negativity. And, as I said, though, negativity brings in the big bucks. So you can see why they're doing. I'm seeing through a lot of people on these platforms. And I can see how they play the game. And I'll never play that game. There's even new channels now that have surpassed me in subscribers, and it's taken them 2 months. And the reason why it's taken 2 months is because they very cleverly injected themselves into this big main circle and are retweeting and making videos about the same topics that the big YouTubers are making, and then the big YouTubers are giving them a shout out because they're following their line and they're able. And I think that's just pretty bad, because basically what you're doing is you're just creating another echo chamber. You're basically creating another YouTuber that has the exact same opinions as you and is going to say exactly the same way as you. I just don't get it. But this will all blow back in their faces, because all of these things do have a time and a place, as Sarah Jane would say. Everything has its time and its place. And this kind of nonsense that's going on with clickbait fucking thumbnails, and all of this other nonsense, it will be put a stop to. It will be put a stop to. Even Daniel's done a rant, as he said. I watched his video. I couldn't fucking stop laughing at some of the stuff. The best part of the video for me was this. You probably don't know who I am, but let me introduce myself. And I broke me bollocks. Oh, man. I couldn't stop laughing for about 5 minutes. I was like, that's how you do a video. But that line was, if you haven't watched that video that he did, go and watch it, man. Go and watch it, because I tell you, right, that line, just the way it's delivered, right? He says, you probably don't know who I am, but let me introduce myself. And I was like, oh my God. I even called Cheryl in. I said, Cheryl, have a listen to this. Brilliant video, by the way. I would always say, you have the way Daniel did the video where he doesn't mention names and stuff like that. That's how you do it. If you're gonna criticize a certain group, in the fandom. It's never pick out individuals because you're leaving yourself out to be targeted by the people that follow them. Because remember, a lot of these people. I mean, I remember I called out a big YouTuber with a mask on, and a lot of these shills then come on to me and start giving me bullshit. But I put all them in their place anyway. Bunch of morons, right? But I wouldn't advise calling individuals out. If you're going to do it, yes, that's the way to do it. Talk about them as a collective, as a whole, because, as I said, a lot of these groups, and it's not just one group. There's loads of different groups. They've lost their objective. They forget why they were originally set up for, and they went down one route because, let's be honest, it brings in the bank. And once it brings in the cash and the cash keeps coming in and it doesn't dry up, they'll keep doing the same thing day after day, week after week, month after month, year after year, and they won't change. They've kind of dug their hole, planted their tree, and they can't move from that now. They have to stay negative all the time. And that's why, if anything is actually good, right, you'll notice that they won't cover it, right? And a very important point was brought up last night as well about now the Orville overall, right, has been okay. It's had some sensational episodes, yeah, but there's a lot of stuff creeping into the Orville that normally these people would give out about if it was in Star Trek or Star Wars. But yeah, as Lee made the point, and it's a valid point, right? And I said it as well. But they're very silent on the Orville. Very silent on the Orville. Not coming out criticising the Orville as the way they do with Star Trek Strange New Worlds, which I will say that criticism is bang out of order because it's not valid. It's not. It's not. And I'm sorry, that might sound arrogant, but it's not. That's why I've encouraged people to go and watch it for yourselves. If you don't like it, you don't like it. But I don't agree with the negativity towards Strange New Worlds. As I said, I'm going to say something here that's probably going to be controversial in some sectors of this fandom, but I'm going to say it out straight. I've watched 10 episodes of Strange New Worlds, and I've watched every episode of The Orville so far. And if I was to rate the two shows right now, based on what we've just seen from both shows at this moment in time, because obviously The Orville still has a ways to go, but if I was to judge the two shows and rate them right now, Strange New Worlds is the far superior show right now. And I never thought I'd say that about Strange New Worlds or any Trek today. But that's the reality. Anyway, I'm off. So have a good one. I'll talk to you all very soon. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and all that other stuff. And look out for all of those streams that I've mentioned. As I said, back to normal now. So tomorrow, new Who's on, Peter Capaldi. Either Wednesday or Thursday, I'll make the announcement. Either Wednesday or Thursday, we'll be starting our RTD member streams, and we will be doing Rose. Season 1 Rose. So if you want to come and join me for that, if you haven't become a member already, you can do so by pressing that join button. Also, if you are a member now, apparently you can gift memberships or something, whatever that. I think that means you can give people memberships. I think that's the way it works out or something like that. So yeah, if you would like to do that, you are more than welcome to do so. It's not, obviously, I'm not saying you have to, but it's there if you would like to and be generous, or maybe if it's someone's birthday in the chat or something like that, yourself, that's what they're there for or something, I don't know. I'm only new to it all, so we'll see how it goes. Anyway, have a good day or evening now. It's 8 o'clock. Jesus, it's 8 o'clock. I've gone for nearly an hour for. Oh, geez, I was only supposed to come on for about half an hour, 45 minutes, but there you go. So yeah, I will see you tomorrow. So enjoy the rest of your evening. Stay safe. And remember, in parts of the UK and Ireland, there's a bit of a heat wave coming. So for all of you milky white skin people out there, don't forget your sunscreen because you don't want to get sunburn. You know, and well, I'd advise everybody to wear some sunscreen, but especially those with pale skin because she's born like a crispy bacon. Because it's weird, my arms and my legs will go brown, right? But me back and me chest will go red first before it goes brown. I get terrible sunburn if I don't wear, whereas my arms go brown. I've got sallow skin, but because I haven't been in the sun over the years, me back and me and my stomach burn, but my arms and my legs go brown. It's weird. It's weird. So sunscreen. Anyway, I'm off to have something to eat. I'll talk to you soon. Thanks for tuning in. And as I said, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to those other YouTube channels as well. Good night. Have a good one. See you, folks. Bye.